Well, greetings. I don't really want to do a lot of talking right now because I don't want to tear up my throat. I don't have COPD. I've got reactive airway syndrome, and the more I talk, the more dust I pull in. And right at the moment, my nose is okay, sort of. little shit down in here. There's some really good references out there at Google Scholar, academic search engine, to types of coughs. Mine's not COPD. Hi, whoever's here. I have the telephone number of someone named Ritchie. I think that was the name of the guy on the Encyclopedia Dramatica page that somebody told me was Sneasels. I think that's his name there, but I definitely Sneasel's mother's telephone number is now in the hands of the Tucson Police Department. And when I get around to it, I'm going to go and run it through a paid service and a few other numbers that I have from the idiots who've been calling me from unsecured lines. I'm not trying to get help. I always have help. And if you're talking about psychiatric help, say so I can just fucking block you. Okay? Anyway, they're all running real scared, and they've all made a lot of threats, and I'm waiting. Oh, we got 11 here already. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Hopefully, if you watch the video of Officer, what's his name? I forget, Morgan, I think it was. He seemed to have a pretty good understanding of cyberbullying tactics, and was attentive and took good notes. And hopefully, I will see some actual action. He promised to push it through the sergeant, the detective sergeant that's going to sign it, and get back to me. And I'll give it a week or so, and if I haven't heard from him, I'll call him. And just found out an interesting thing. One of my old buddies is now one of the internal affairs sergeants. Well, that's a surprise. Whatever, I don't know. I was just gonna play. All right, well, here's what we're doing. Here's where it's at. It's at 7:37 p.m. I think it was Eastern time. I don't know what 7:30. It's 9:24 here. I don't know when 7:30. When. Okay, this guy. See, these guys are openly discussing breaking the law. And eventually, I'm gonna get the proper legal assistance to take this shit down and recover a lot of money from these clowns. Possibly even get big rewards for turning in a treasonous motherfucker named Tom Burton. I think that's his name. I have to look that one up. But he's a DOD employee. The A and Bs are every single one of them that's has a military or law enforcement jacket. Every single one that I've got names for, except for Andy Cloray, the owner of A and B. They're all fucking military. And they've been on my shit for 10 years. And I have a recording of one of them making overt threats. And I for anybody who wants it, that phone number is available if you ask for it privately. I can't put it out any other way. I have it. If somebody wants it, ask me, and maybe I'll sell. Maybe I'll give it to you. Maybe I won't. It just depends on how I feel about the way you approach me. Anybody saying anything? Play for you, yeah. Well, there's companies behind them that do. There's a company called Sparrows Consulting. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to play. No applause. This is money. I'm so glad I can still fool people after all these years. Well, I hope I can. Do you know anything about them? Spiros, that is, and Continental West too. They're Defense Department IT security contractors. I'm so glad I can still fool people after all these years. That's just going off on some blues riffs. But thank you. Oh yeah. Uh it's crazy and it's very widespread. I know a lot of victims of it. I don't know anybody getting it as intensely as me. They're really coming at me hot and heavy from a lot of directions. Might as well see what's happening at Twitter right now. Nothing. They got me shadow banned at Twitter, so nobody's seeing my shit. Yeah, nobody except my like close followers, people that like were following each other. What'd you do? Oh, Finch, Adam Bucksbaum, who's like one of the main spokespeople for the Rainbow Family of Living Blight, the Drainbow Family of Living Blight, got his first Twitter ban for who was he tweeting at? Uh-huh. A dumbass. I don't know who he was saying this to, but he said at 76 to the CEO and BOD. I don't know who that is. You're killing the planet. You're dooming our species. Go 100% renewable or kill yourself because you are killing us. And that's like a week old. And they only got him for 12 hours. Somebody probably saw it today or recently. I don't know. But anyway, there was nothing going on here. I announced there that this was happening. So where's the? Oh, thank you. Please don't call me Tom. My name's Tommy. I'm a two spirit, and I have very distinct male and female aspect. And I don't, I had to pretend to be male all my life, and I don't like it. And I never, nobody ever called me Tom that stayed in my life more than like that moment that they were calling me Tom. Um, People wanted to address, all my friends and family always called me Tommy, and authorities always called me Thomas. And anybody who called me Tom wasn't paying any attention to me. The only people that call me Tom today are people that do it to piss me off. Um, I really appreciate the sentiment about my playing. Hopefully Ariana and I'll get to work up some tunes a little more. Check out. I'll get the link in a second. I'm twisting the joint. Um, I'll get the link to Ariana's Bandcamp, where she's got the stuff that she's already. You just saw some raw stuff last night. She's got some nice work she's done for. She's got about 10 years of work up there. I'll go get the link for her. I got to close down some of these. Oh boy, I need to close down a lot of this. Just close all this shit down. Closed. We'll just open that all up and closed. Goodbye. Closed. Yeah. See, here's the idiots. Another message board is owned and operated by IT geeks, big time geeks, and they all have military credentials, just about. Here's one. This is extra duck sauce. Is the fake Russian or what? Glorious Heaven Kaufman. all sorts of other aliases. If Tom go live tonight, Glarius will deploy Earth and ass-shattering surprise for Fat Man in Dress. Is warning. No live stream tonight, Tom. You have been warned. Well, here I am streaming, douchebag. And then there's this Lurker X. I don't know what his fucking problem is. He's one of the stalkers, and and Tom needs to quit posting videos anyway. Really, it serves no positive purpose other than giving us more revenue for interdicting and pirating them. Well, hey, that's going to eventually catch up to you and bite you in the ass. These are ready to view. Okay, those are out there. The two videos from today are up. This is some Cali grown. I think he called it Canadog. Is the strain. It's not too shabby, but it's not that great. But I don't know because I was under medicated and overstressed. So I don't really know. I don't get buzzed that easy. This is instead of taking Valium and shit. I use that. Okay, what was I doing? We were seeing what these assholes were doing, and then I was going to close that down. Oh, and here's the sleazel. Where that? They're worried. They're deeply worried about this. Sneasel's in here going, tell me, posting my phone number is a crime. And my response was, I'm aware of that. It's already in the police report, and then I'm going to run it through a paid service and offer the output to anybody who can prove that they're targeted by you for free. I don't think I can get in trouble for that. I've been wondering about this one. They had a whole mess. You know, there are several transgender people that are involved with Kiwi Farms as very like. Oh, baby. This there's this like really psycho bitch that named D Price that's all like really like, I don't know how to describe it because she's all into the neuro she's into the pathology of transsexualism, where everybody else is trying to say, well, hey, look, we're not needing to, just like the for most people, it's more important to them to be able to live comfortably in their skin and be able to express themselves in a way that's acceptable to the people around them. They don't really want to concern themselves like with credentials so much as she's trying. Oh, she's just driving people nuts in my group, Transgender Science. And then when she's just too nuts, so I put her on ignore. But apparently, she was leaking the trolls, very incriminating troll chats. So those guys are useless and a waste of time. Close that down. All these guys are going to get run over by a karma bus eventually. Marissa pointed out correctly that these organized troll guys go after people who are pretty well established as artists but aren't making much money. The big time celebrities got like lawyers that will fuck them over, and we don't. We can't afford it, and we can't convince the cops to do anything about it. So they just keep doing it, and more and more of it. And they just hit. I think they crossed the line with the threatening phone calls. And I hope that's going to perk up. I've been attacked twice on the ground, on the street, from shit that came offline. Well, I'm not sure about the second one, but the second one was obviously a hate crime. They might not have known about what's out there about me online. I'm none of these things. I had a dog, a companion dog that liked to have people like just cup her up underneath, in between, just up underneath her pussy, and let her crank herself up on your arm. She loved it, and there was a lot of people who did it for her because it was kind of hilarious. And we didn't. Nobody was getting because we did. She'd be getting in people's face, and the word was noogies. She liked her noogies, and she protected us. So nobody ever thought there was anything like strange about it. That strange among in the community we were living in at the time, the rubber tramps. It's like nobody gave a shit about something like that. It's like I wasn't the only one that did crap like that. I knew people that did it to their male dogs. The dog will kill for you. It's if you're getting it off, the dog will kill for you. And that's what that was about. That was not any kind of sexual involvement for me, and I certainly never fucked a dog. And then the thing with Sabrina is like, I don't even want to go into it anymore because it's all stupid. Go ask her. Until I hear from her that I harmed her life, thing we're talking about. There's certainly no other instances that they can put in my face, but that one, that are true at all. And what anybody's, it was consensual. Yes, she was underage, but she was mature emotionally and physically, and had been living among adults who come to me after living with a guy for a year. So not like I was raping a child. It was like a child woman invited me into her bed that she was rolling around with my partner. It was two women that invited me into a bed. It wasn't a child I was raping. That's just fucking nonsense. Total fucking nonsense. So anyway, now that I got that off, and they could, he admitted to raping a child, fucking a dog again. Like, okay, well, if you have language comprehension difficulties, that's your problem, not mine. Yeah, and I'm 64 years old. I mean, I don't look much younger than 50 at the best, but I'm 64 years old. And my The only heavy marks on my face are ones I did to myself. Here and here, where a cliff crumbled. No, I haven't been in many fights, and they were usually over real quick. Um, and that's that. That's what it is. Um, Me and the dog stopped a lot of fights from starting, or broke them up after they had gotten started. Um, what these people are trying to paint me as is just ridiculous. Oh, well, court. Well, I don't know. I really, if you're in a position to talk about it rationally, um, there are. I mean, I'm meeting adults. I'm meeting young adults that have been living on their own since they were as young as 6 and 7 years old. Um, the young lady I was with was had been living on her own since she was 9. And had been living with a man for the year before this happened. So I didn't like consider this a child. And the same kind of thing, uh, this still happens today, where I don't see anything wrong with the actual circumstances of what happened. It's like, okay, these things happen. Uh, I don't see it being any worse today for a girl not quite 16 to be getting it on with a 28-year-old guy. I think that twice the age is where the break is, because that's where it gets a little as long as you're not more than twice as old as the minor, and the minor's at least 15, it's no big deal. Some of the states, I think, have a 15-year-old age of consent. Um, But I definitely don't condone anything outside of that framework. Less than twice as old, totally consensual. The minor has to be able, you have to demonstrate that the minor is mature, emotionally mature. Taking advantage of a young girl is a totally different thing. This is an emotionally mature young girl. Um, I see it. I saw it on the Rainbow Road a lot, where the older brothers as old as 50 and 60 would be hitting on women as 25 and under, and giving them all sister, I love you, sister, yada yada yada, just to get in her pants, or they don't usually wear pants. That's wrong. I mean, even with a woman of an adult, the age of consent, that's wrong. To be coming on to a woman like that just to get something. They spread herpes all over the place. Um, my my last ex was charmed into running off with one of these rainbow dope dealers, and along the way, several women told me about their experience with him. And he's a predator. These are predators. What happened between me and Sabrina was just, a couple of artists. Then, she's an incredible artist, beautiful voice, and fabulous graphic artist. She's amazing drawings. Um, she just wasn't chronologically of the age of consent. But as far as her emotional development, I don't think that for instance, if her father had lodged a complaint, I doubt if I would have been convicted of anything. I mean, look at what they gave Brock Turner for raping a girl raping an unconscious girl behind a dumpster. What do you get? Come on, let's get real here. I really don't want to dwell on it because it was 35 fucking years ago. And it's not what I'm about. It does not define me in any way. I'm a two-spirit. I'm hoping to be able to develop relationship with a pretty nice trans guy. He's got some things he's got to grow into before, and I got to learn to deal with that. If it's going to work, it is, or it's not. I'll meet another trans guy maybe. I'm not a transsexual. I'm a two-spirit, and I'm waiting on God to fix my plumbing. I'm not wearing a skirt. I mean, sometimes you know, this gender neutral. They call it unisex. You know, anybody can wear it, and that's that. And sometimes I wear a skirt. I never wear makeup, and I really don't like wearing a wig. And it's not smelly. No, not at all. I'd like people. I'd like to celebrate gender. You know, we're about celebrating diversity. I want to celebrate gender. Just recognize that some people can be both or neither, and that it's not uncommon for people to be cross-wired between their sex and gender. I think it's a very simple thing. I think it's a wonderful thing. If, you know, dress yourself up like however you want to dress yourself up, and show your binary stereotype behavior and however it pleases you. And everybody else, you go, yeah, that's nice. That's having a good time. You know, 97% at least of people are born cisgender. That they have no problem between their gender leanings. You know, their I don't know what the signals from the brain to the rest of them. They have no problem. Between, you know, it's like, oh, okay, I'm a guy, and oh, I am a guy, and you know, you just try to picture yourself waking up with the wrong genitals for the way you feel about yourself. And you know, this is how I've adapted. I was forced to live in the boy suit for almost 60 years. And I couldn't just unzip it, and I sure wasn't going to start, you know, putting all that makeup and gook on my face. I don't mean it because I'm so pretty if I smile. But, you know, just to be me finally was such a heavy burden. You know, I mean, it lightened my soul so much to not have to think about whether what I was doing was too girly. Just to be me. And if you watch the interaction between me and the corporal, he was misgendering me, but he was correcting himself immediately. This is important. This is something I've talked about a lot. Well, I think that's why they're bitching so much, is that they're questioning. They're really queer. They're questioning themselves. That, you know, guys think maybe they want to suck a dick or take it up the butt, and you know, and he's really supposed to be straight, you know, cis het guy, and he's thinking, well, that might be fun, and you know, and they hurt themselves, or you know, or wondering what it would like, you know, to be a man or a woman if you know, if they're the other sex. I think that's where they're having the problem, and it's really a diminishing number of people on both sides of the issue. Most people are at like, okay, you are what you are. You're going to dress yourself the way you want to dress yourself. You're going to act the way you want to dress yourself. And you're going to ask people to relate to you in a particular manner. You know, that, hi, I'm Tommy. I'm a two-spirit, and I prefer she and her because he's no fun. And if you can't handle she or her, they's cool. That's where I'm at. And people should just respect that and accept it. And most people are there. Most people are ready to do that. We have on the one side the gender critical folks, the religious fanatics, and the feminists the phallophobic feminists. How's that for how's that for liberation? Uh, they like to bust my chops because I use a lot of alliteration. It's old internet, texting shit from back in the 80s and 90s. Coolness in the old chat rooms. As far as coolness for insults was like how cool, how funny an alliteration could you put together to put somebody down. But anyway, these feminists are really phallophobic. They hate, man hating. They're, a penis is just the worst thing in the world. And then, like, when they throw the trans people into the mix, you got this problem with a lot of trans women, a lot of non-operative trans women are lesbian. So, like, they don't want to cop to, like, lesbians who want a real penis, but are still making love to a woman. I'm a woman with a penis. I make love like a woman, but I got a penis, so I gotta, if I'm gonna do it right, I gotta do it with a guy. I gotta have a guy that has a vagina. All right, it's just like, oops. uh, but anyway, uh, um, where was I going? I forgot. Oh, look, Sneasel's here. No, I didn't. I don't. Uh, here's your douchebag. I was posting on a site that was mostly young people under 25, but it wasn't children. Oh good, they're hiding his shit. Yeah. Here, we'll just put him on he's out of here. He's out of here. Yeah, don't tip, just ignore them. Let's not just like I I'll I'll just, don't even engage them. Don't even engage them. YouTube's hiding his nasty messages, and I'll just put him on timeout till he goes away, till he gets tired of not being able to say anything. I'm sure Josh will be along in a minute. We're waiting for Glarius or whatever the fuck he really call Sneasel Richie. That'll get him nuts. Call him Richie. I forgot where I was rambling. Totally. New question? Oh shit. You should be able to just, when there's a little 3-dot menu, you can report, put user in timeout, hide user on the channel, or add as a moderator. Okay? I can't block him from here. I have to go to their channel and block it. But they're using names and avatars that are hard to find a channel. There'll be like, 12 of them and all using the same avatar. I don't know. And I can't get hold of a human. I'm getting no response. I put in a query at forum and nobody answered. Hardly anybody even looked at it. It's just so where it's just all rigged in favor of the cyber criminals. The whole web, everything about it is rigged in favor of criminals. There is so much exploitation going on online. I mean, these trolls they make money just causing flame wars because they get the click-through revenue. That's all that fake news. That's how they make the money, is they get the click-through revenue on all the people like making crazy comments. And then a group like Kiwi. These are mainly children So, just totally psycho kids. Well, there's some real deviants. Boy, I can't believe some of the expressions of deviant sexuality I see coming out of these people. Oh, and I'm real old fashioned. I'm monogamous. I'm a serial monogamist, and I haven't had hardly any in my life. And I've had a few good relationships with women over the years, about 8 of them maybe. Um, and that's that. And I haven't had any relation with a woman since 1993 or 94. Um, and I just lost my cherry to a trans man in September. It was nice, but unfortunately didn't work out. But at least we parted friends. I might get laid again in February. It was nice. It was really nice. Because I've only had that in my head all my life, and I was like, wow, it was good. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for the long term, but we parted friends. I wanted to play. I was feeling the muse tonight, because it's just been quiet. It was crazy earlier, and Ariane and Clark came by. This guy's interesting. Someone calling himself the real Mike Myers, but I don't think it's like the comic Mike Myers guy. I should really look at him, because he's jumping on the on the Yemen thing. You know, the tax-paying public that's like underwriting all this fucking warfare knows nothing about why these things are going on. They get this picture of like communists and capitalists, and they don't consider, they're not aware of the deep histories, the resources that are in contention. Yemen in particular, and the capital currently is Aden, which was always an independent country before. I'm pretty sure Aden was like autonomous from Yemen. And they drew a bunch of lines in the sand that never existed before World War One, and then divvied everything up to the tribal chieftains that they had in their pocket, and it's not working at all. And they're trying to bomb it to shit, and they're getting ready to blow loose in Syria. Northeastern Syria. I don't know. I'm not set up to do this to do any lecturing. I'll do that another time. World War III could easily break out before the end of the year in northeastern Syria, just south and west of the Turkish border and the Euphrates River. There's 2 big bases, American bases, that went in there earlier this year, and the real estate around them is controlled by the Kurdish Revolutionary Force. That's like, I forget whether they're in Turkey's pocket or no. It's the KPP that's against them. The Kurds that are with the Turks, I forget it. It's very complicated out there, because there's like dozens of different like ethnicities that have to be taken into consideration you don't hear about. I saw some map the other day that had like 12 of them just scattered around there, around through Iran and southern Turkey and Iraq and shit there, and it's like all over the place, all like 12 different ones. And Aden, I'm gonna have to look this up, but Aden, and you know, it's listed in the wiki right now as the temporary capital of Yemen. Aden controls the strait into the Horn of Africa and up into the Red Sea. And that's a big part of what it's about, is control of that sea lane. It's all about, you know, it's not about religions or anything, it's about the land. It's about who's going to get to benefit, to profit from the resources of the land. So it's ever been about for the last 526 years, at least, probably more. Our friend the chimp, there's a, is it my pal or your pal? He's either my he's not here right now. This is such a wonderful group of people that I met in this. There's this thread that has like 48 people tagged into it. Yeah, now this guy's he wants me to keep it between us, and not in public. But I don't feel like reading it. And you guys probably aren't interested in this kind of stuff anyway. It's about Aden and the tribal Aden and Yemen, and what's happening there. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, Sneasel's name is Richie. Oh, I was? Guess what? Marissa, you denied my reality, and you don't come out here and make demands of me, or I will block you without remorse. Okay. I'm not kidding, bitch. You're a little loose up top. I haven't said anything, and I'm not gonna say more. I'm just gonna block you quietly and move on. You talk about cyber abuse and silly users somewhere else, and you can keep your trans exclusive reality to someone else. Anybody who refuses to see me as female is not going to be allowed in my life. You know, oh, I see you as male, but you can be what you like. Well, you can be what you like too, away from me. Uh, she's got a screw loose. And she went over the threshold yesterday, and that was strike two, and I only have it. She got her strike one yesterday. She was told what the problem was and didn't correct it then, and now is coming in making demands. So she's blocked. She's done. I have no use for a person like that in my life. She refused to. I listened to yesterday's conversation with her. Had to shout her down a couple of times to get to say what I was trying to say. And then she's like, "Oh, she does not, she don't, I understand that I'm going to register as male to some people, but nobody is welcome in my life that's going to give me this, okay, well, you're a man, but you can be whatever you want to be." It's like, okay, fine, you can be whatever you want to be too, but somewhere in somebody else's life. I will not, nobody's going to patronize me condescendingly. Fuck that. There go talk about cyber abuse and silly losers somewhere else. I'm not a silly loser. I'm silly, but I'm not a loser. Yeah, that's right. Virgo Rouge, right? Yeah, that's I'm done. I've put up with her for a while. She's just like, I it's too much, she's too willing to um yeah, your husband, I hope your husband does take you off the net. Yeah, no, she's too negative. Too much negativity. And then she doesn't buy in, I'm a man. And then she's, and that's that. And no, you can be what you want. My husband. Listen to your husband, girl. Um, really, I'm done. How do I block it? Oh yeah, at about. Bam. Bye. It's nice knowing you, but I'm done. I don't want to discuss it. I don't, it's totally unethical to talk about somebody's mental health um, that you've never actually examined if you have no credentials to talk about mental health. Oh boy, I've talked to Tara. When the Kiwi farmers first tuned into me, um, most of the Kiwi farmers that I've had contact with haven't been very stable. The targets of Kiwi farmers that I do know that are stable absolutely don't. She's one of trans people trans artists, struggling trans artists that they key on to ridicule and humiliate in public, try to make them suicide. I think Tara's the one I talked to. Tara had uh, I know that's the when I first they put me on her immediately, and I talked to her, or I forget exactly how it went. If we talked on the phone or by email, and she's telling me about suicide attempts because of how they treated her. Well, yeah, and then I almost had sex with a teenager, but the circumstances were not rape. So what were the circumstances with her? They tried to introduce this shit into 4chan when they first hooked up with these guys. Kiwi farmers got zero credibility with anybody but like idiots. We don't need to see that in public. I have to, in defense of, I personally don't know what to say about public displays of autoeroticism or copulation that trans people are accused of doing. Um, yeah, yeah, it's not my trip. I'm old hippie. I'm an old hippie artist, and I when I got out of college and got clear of my parents, the only avenue in to transition at that time was through the gay sex trade, and I just wasn't going to do that. See, I don't know I know who Sophie is, but I don't know who exactly was harassing her. Chris Chan is classic Stockholm syndrome. He's thinking his house. He's way out there, but basically seems what I see are public presentations, very sweet and childlike, and trying to have a happy life. And I have no idea what the fuck they make her do. Um, See, that's all stuff I really don't want to go into, please. Really, really, I have no interest in any of that. Go take it to Virgo's channel. I see people like in other places talking about like TV programs and anime and all that happy shit, and that's not me. Um, and all kinds of weird sex. So me, I'm old hippie. I'm in the live music and arts community. We're getting ready here for the Gem and Mineral show is coming up January 10th. We'll be starting to set up at the Howard Johnson's with El Paso Rock Shop. Um, music whenever we can get away with it. I broadcast from the street, from clubs, all sorts of places. Um, and but I got to get some protection from my channel from this shit. So I think what I really need to do is play some more. So like the conversation can go to like talking about the music, right? And let's get some likes, please. The trolls, the trolls couldn't kiss them off because I got more than 10 down thumbs. But like, I don't like begging for like I never really was like into. I'm just me, I'm an old hippie and I'm trying to share my joy for being like able to be joyful. And I don't give a fuck how many people are here. Just as long as like most of them are nice people. I don't know. Do we have any requests? My favorite song. I can't. Um, I, I can't. I never could do favorites. I could do top 10 maybe. No, no. That's and I don't do favorites easy. It's like too many people and too many things in music. What was the last song I learned? Oh, well, I've been on this thing. I don't know. Let me think. Let me just think. I don't know. I don't remember what the would be left. I don't feel like pulling the sax out right now. Let's see if I can pull up. Um, no, that's not it. Let's see if I can get the other one. Yeah, there it is. quit. Some at me like right there, hard, where I didn't feel real comfortable about it. Actually, I don't make jack shit for the apartment. Government pays the overhead. Thank you. Oh, Jesus, another one I have to block? Seriously, Marissa, you're not well in the head. I put up with your bullshit for too long. Who the fuck channel is that one? Oh boy. I didn't need that from her last night. Now, Marissa, now you're starting to dog me. This is the way it is, dear. I'm me. I have my standards. And I tried to tell you repeatedly that I really don't want to dwell on the kinds of issues that you like to dwell on, okay? Now leave me in peace, please. You do not accept the transgender condition as valid. You see it as a choice. It is a matter of birth. We have an irreconcilable difference of opinion there. You are no longer welcome in my life until you understand that I'm not a man, okay? That's where it's at. You crossed you crossed the wrong line. I don't want you around me anymore. And now I got to figure out who the fuck that is. So I've got her Virgo Rouge channel blocked. And now we'll have this one blocked. Goodbye. No, I don't need this in my life. That's her art channel. How many channels have you got? Yeah, I actually kind of surprised myself just now. I was feeling it earlier that like something's up here. This flute is this is the new instrument. It's like I just got this. I've been playing the Hohner Educator, which has a plastic on the airway. The plastic it's got a plastic insert in the fipple. Is this the piece that comes out there, and and there's plastic in the other one. This one's all wood and it's a hardwood. I'm not sure what kind of wood it is. I think maple maybe. And it's just got a beautiful tone, and it gets all the way up and down clean, easy. Hardly any breaking in it. It's got a nice warble if I do that. Okay, what was I doing here? Oh. Yeah, I don't make much off the horn. I pay for my weed habit with what I make off the horn. My disability check pays for the apartment. I pretty much capitalize, I buy my stones and tools with what I have left over from my check and make money with that and make money with my horns, and I'm comfortable. I mean, I earn less than $15,000 a year total, but I get cost of living is pretty low in Tucson, and I lived off the grid for almost 20 years between 1982 and 1999. Um, so I have ways of surviving without money. I salvage a lot of things. Like I get a lot of things that I use and eat for free. Amazing, amazing, just amazing groceries that get thrown away by individuals, especially around the university. Um, so we only got no, and I don't really have much going on here. No, anything. Oh, uh, I get a lot of grief from Netanyahu's people and from Bibi himself when I wrote last year how he's betrayed the Jews with his friendship with the far right in Europe. And Barack Ravid's scoop on how he's now revising the Holocaust with Orban proves me right. Oh, baby, that's hearts. Oh, baby. They're going to lock him up any minute now. It's a criminal enterprise. Netanyahu and Trump. They're both in the Rothschild's pocket. And the Rothschilds aren't really like there's other families. People I don't know the names as well as some other people I know. Um, hello. No, it's a little better pot than I'm used to getting, and it doesn't burn in the joint well. They're talking about a bromance between this Orban guy, I guess is like the neo-Nazi in Europe, Ukrainian or something. Hungary Holocaust Museum. What's that? Cost millions. It hasn't opened, but oh, they're worried about Holocaust revisionism. They don't want to admit to the deal that went down between Rudolf Kastner and Adolf Eichmann. Let's see what this is. This is oh yeah, they're trying to blame the whole thing on Germany when like they just, you'll see it. You can see it build in the propaganda from 1915. Yeah, this is important, to if you want to know the truth about the things that happened in the 20th century that put the world on the track it's on today. This is a real important 800,000 people, Jews. I don't know how many others, but 800,000 Jews in Hungary were exported and exterminated. And it was all engineered. The Zionists had their hand in it from the beginning. It's the Judeo-Christian. It's the same crowd, in Jesus' time, it was the Sadducees, was those guys, and the Pharisees were the corrupted church, and the Essenes were the people who were out and screaming about it being all wrong. Yeah, then they want to blame the whole thing on Hitler. And it was, that's classic patsy. Um, yeah, I don't want to bore you with this. Doesn't even look like an accurate Star of David, three-dimensional one. Huh. I don't know. And I guess George Soros is Hungarian. I wonder what he had. I forget what he did in the war. Um, there's a T-shirt that says, "Technically, Moses was the first person with a tablet downloading data from the cloud." See, I think Soros is like the main machinator of a flow of migrants who would destroy the Christian traditional identity and ethnic homogeneity of the continent and weaken the nation state. This is from a talking head from a think tank. Connection between nationalism and anti-Semitism in Hungary that dates back centuries. Shoes on the river. Yeah, they're trying to cover up what the Hungarian did to exterminate the Jews. They want to blame it all on the Germans. Okay, enough of that. Let's see what this. Okay, that's the bromance. How nutty Yahoo has. I think this is more of the same with this Orban. Oh yeah, this is from Haaretz by Ansel Pepper. Is how Netanyahu has betrayed the Jews. Netanyahu wants the right to speak as the representative, but in America and Europe, he's abandoned all pretense of solidarity. I've started tagging things Israel out of U.S. Uh, in February 2000, there was no question. The center-right Austrian party, OVP, had just, gosh, it's jumping, my screen's jumping all over the place. It, it, I got a pretty decent. I don't have a real big screen. I'm just like got. It's only 16. It's bigger than I had before. It's big enough. I support it. Here that work yet? So I couldn't. The scroll bar on the side. Here, it's still not. Oh, shit. We'll close down some of this other crap. Oh, that's what was hanging it up. It wanted to give me a pop-up. No, go X by. No, let's see if we got it now. Oh yeah, now it's loaded. It had to get the it had. Now do I have this? Do I have this scroll bar working? There we go. Yay! Don't quit on me now, baby, and don't go too far. In February 2000, there was no question. The center-right Austrian People's Party (OVP) had just formed a coalition government with Georg Haider's Freedom Party, the FPO. For the first time since World War II, a far-right political party whose members commemorated and respected its Nazi roots was to be a member of the European government. Haider himself wasn't a member of the new government, and the Chancellor Wolfgang Schüssel. But there was simply no question Israel would not engage with such a government. The Israeli ambassador was withdrawn from Vienna, and diplomatic relations with Austria remained at their lowest level for the next 5 years until a new government was formed without the Freedom Party. Now we got to get past the video of George Bush and Air Force One. Come on, scroll. Fast forward to this month and the election victory of 31-year-old Sebastian Kurz, the current OBP leader and soon-to-be chancellor. Kurz is almost certainly going to form his new coalition with the Freedom Party. Major Jewish organizations, including the World Jewish Congress, Anti-Defamation League, have reconsidered. Hello, come on. Now I got a photo I got to scroll past. That's hanging. Some guy. Hello. So apparently, I don't want. It's looking tedious. It's looking tedious. Besides having trouble with the scroll bar, it has to do with this Kurz guy who's like Nazi, and then ADL's Jonathan Greenblatt, who's Zionist. It's just a different kind of Nazi. At this point, I'm just praying for it not to, they're in Syria soon. And then the Ukraine, Crimea, go right behind it. I don't know. Hopefully I'm wrong, but they want to make war soon. There's rumors of impending false flag, and then there's so much fake stuff out there. Just kind of have to wait until things happen, and then not worry about them, and then just get on, keep on keeping on, do whatever it is you do, and always keep that hope that the divine order things will set things right. People will advance to the next level of humanity instead of knocking ourselves back. And I think I'm going to wind it up right there if nobody said anything lately. Yeah, I'm not putting up with anybody being an idiot. That's the tooting. And if I don't like the look of your channel, you're getting blocked. Hello. should have taken the time to resolve pages. Let's close some of this shit, excess shit down. Yeah, this is where I saw something the other day in one of the like obscure news sources. It was talking about how Crimea was a distraction from what's going on in so what's the name of this here? Come on. Manbij in northern Syria. They've got a couple of fortified bases with some heavy equipment in them. And apparently, oh boy, this is a mess. This is a really big mess. This is an awful mess here. So what we have here is a week ago there was, and this was from April. No telling how it is today. This is the most recent thing I could find was a week ago there was just a single house where U.S. soldiers had hoisted an American flag on a hill not far from a tense front line in Syria. On Wednesday, there was a growing fortified position with a perimeter of large sand barriers and barbed wire, a new watchtower, and half a dozen armored vehicles. Even as U.S. President Donald Trump spoke, an Associated Press team saw American forces setting up frontline positions outside the strategic northern town of Manbij, west of the Euphrates River. And so it's two bases in Manbij, and it's under the control of the Kurdish People's Defense Unit, or YPG. Not much more there about this. Where was it? Someone said something about ISIS too. It's Kurdish-held territory. Turkey has vowed to retake Manbij and other Kurdish-held territory along the Syrian-Turkish border. U.S. troops stationed here are a key reason why they're holding back. And this was from April. They're not saying anything. There's there's nothing current. So if they're putting that kind of a blackout, watch out, something's coming. Like something is stealing resources. So I don't have that much opened right now. Let's get some of this excess shit closed. History. Probably could even close that. Yeah. Okay, we get rid of this. Oh. Something is something's robbing resources.